A place where you find comfort in its surroundings, where you can pinpoint the details it holds, the stories, memories that are made there. Each home has a thing, a focal point to its beauty. For example, a teacup, cracked and worn from years of use. That there was a point the color was vibrant from the dull hue it now holds. The stains from endless drinks that have been made in it, and the memory of someone else's hand that it used to hold close. These narratives are wise, energy and knowledge from stories passed down. Each has a heritage, a time where it stood still, long enough to capture the moment. My Nan once said to me, stories are the next best thing to memories, because a story never truly ends. Unique, strong, kind-hearted, and full. Your heart is at home, where all the stories are told. Growing up in an environment that was full of music and storytelling is how I had started my journey as an artist. Each work I created, be it a painting or a print, they all held a story. Looking back to when my love for them had took place is a time when I think life was at its best.
A, you're adorable. B, you're so beautiful. C, you're a cutie full of charm. D, you're delightful. And E, you're exciting. And F, you're a feather in my arms. G, you look good to me. H, you're so heavenly. I, you're the one I idolize. J, we're like Jack and Jill. K, you're so kissable. L is the love light in your eyes. N, O, P. I could go on all day. Q, R, S, T. Alphabetically singing. You're okay. You make my life complete. V means you're very sweet. W, X, Y, Z. I'd like to wander through the alphabet with you and tell you what you mean to me.
Nellie, as everyone most known her by, could brighten up anyone's day, tell you how it is, and not know what a filter was when she spoke. Whenever she told a story or sang a hymn, it would be during the time she would be making a quilt.
God sees a little sparrow fall, it meets his tender view. If God so loves the little birds, I know he loves me too. He loves me too, he loves me too. I know he loves me too, because he loves the little birds. I know he loves me too. He paints the lilies of the field, perfumes each lily bell. If God so loves the little flowers, I know he loves me well. He loves me too, he loves me too. I know he loves me too, because he loves the birds and flowers. I know he loves me too.
Each delicate pattern, hand-sewn by markings made from soap, fabric picked to represent the person in mind, and always was made the size for a queen bed, that no matter what, the quilt would be loved and used.
Close your sleepy eyes, my little buckaroo, while the light of western skies is shining down on you. Don't you know it's time for bed? Another day is through. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo. Soon you're gonna ride the range like grown-up cowgirls do. Now it's time that you were rounding up a dream or two. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo. Don't you realize, my little buckaroo, that it was from a tiny acorn that the oak tree grew? And remember that your Nan was once a kid like you. So go to sleep, my little buckaroo. Just close your eyes, my little buckaroo.
To come home from school, to her making those quilts, vibrant in the varieties of color it held, was the time I would spend most with her.
Who comes running through the house with muddy, muddy shoes? Who will ask you for a dime and know you can't refuse? Who can make a mess of things just climbing up the stairs? But who is like an angel when he kneels to say his prayers? That's my heartstrings, that's my joy. That's my heartstrings, that's my boy. Who can make you think the teacher's wrong about his grades? Who cannot resist a pull or two at sister's braids? Who can wear your arches out at carnivals and fairs? But who looks like an angel when he kneels to say his prayers? That's my heartstrings, that's my joy. That's my heartstrings, that's my boy. Who can cry her heart out when her dog is feeling sick? Who can take a watch apart, yet never make it tick? Who can lift your soul on high when you're weighted down with cares? And who is like an angel when she kneels to say her prayers? That's my heartstrings, that's my pearl. That's my heartstrings, that's my girl.
To come to my house after a day of school, you could expect fresh baked goods and Nan to tell you a story. With a half-full cup of tea, a sandwich made for her and the dog, and the apricot squares, that still to this day, those in the community will ask the recipe for. She would call me over. "How are you, my pigeon inlet?" As she sat in her chair, sewing her quilt, I would run to her, knowing what was to come about. As I reached by her and sat down real close, hands worn and thin, a combination of cold and warm, as she would cradle my face with the tenderness only she could hold. I would snuggle up tight after she poked my nose. She asked how was school, and I would say fine, taking in her scent of Tetley tea and fresh-made jam. As she wrapped me in her quilt, patterns all curved throughout, she asked would I like to hear a story, and I nodded my head.
If you go out in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go out in the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day teddy bears have their picnic. Picnic time for teddy bears. The little teddy bears are having a lovely time today. Watch them, catch them unaware, and see them picnic on their holiday. See them gaily gather about. They love to sing and shout and never have any cares. At 6 o'clock their mommies and daddies will take them home to bed, because they're tired little teddy bears. If you go out in the woods today, you'd better not go alone. It's lovely out in the woods today, but safer to stay at home. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day teddy bears have their picnic. Picnic time for teddy bears. The little teddy bears are having a lovely time today. Watch them, catch them unaware, and see them picnic on their holiday. See them gaily gather about. They love to sing and shout, they never have any cares. At 6 o'clock their mommies and daddies will take them home to bed, because they're tired little teddy bears. Every teddy bear that's been good is sure of a treat today. There's lots of wonderful things to read and marvelous games to play. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, they'll hide and seek as long as they please, 'cause that's the way teddy bears have at their picnic. Picnic time for teddy bears. The lovely teddy bears are having a lovely time today. Watch them, catch them unaware, and see them picnic on their holiday. See them gaily gather about. They love to sing and shout, they never have any cares. At 6 o'clock their mommies and daddies will take them home to bed, because they're tired little teddy bears.
And after bears have left the trees, she tells of birds and bumblebees, and of little kittens and puppy dogs, and silly songs about courting frogs.
Mr. Froggy went a-courting and he did right, Mr. Froggy went a-courting and he did right, Mr. Froggy went a-courting and he did right, sword and pistol by his side, He rode right up to Miss Mousie's door, He rode right up to Miss Mousie's door, He rode right up to Miss Mousie's door, gave 3 loud raps and a very loud roar, He took Miss Mousie on his knee, He took Miss Mousie on his knee, He took Miss Mousie on his knee and said, Miss Mousie, will you marry me? Without my Uncle Rat's consent, Without my Uncle Rat's consent, Without my Uncle Rat's consent, I wouldn't marry the president, Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides, Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides, Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides to think his niece would be a bride, Where shall the wedding supper be, Where shall the wedding supper be, Where shall the wedding supper be? Way down yonder in the hollow tree, What shall the wedding supper be, What shall the wedding supper be, What shall the wedding supper be? Fried mosquito and a black-eyed pea, Little piece of cornbread laying on a shelf, Little piece of cornbread laying on a shelf, Little piece of cornbread laying on a shelf. If you want any more, you can sing it yourself,
And as I sat beside her, laying my head upon her chest, just to hear that stuttering heartbeat, I would look up at her and admire the gentle smile she held. Even though life was a mere grasp, I could tell that she knew, but didn't acknowledge, for the sake of having that moment.
You're the end of the rainbow, my pot of gold. Your daddy's little girl to have and to hold. Your mommy's gem is what you are. You're your nanny's bright and shining star. The treasure I cherish, my joy on a spree. You're an Easter bonnet for Daddy and me, and your sugar and spice, and everything nice, and your nanny's little girl.
Cuddling close, mindful of the working hands that carefully sewed the patterns, I'd close my eyes and listen, waiting for that first note, never knowing if a story or a song will come first.
Little boy kneels at the foot of his bed, droops on his little hand's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Christopher Robin is saying his prayers. God bless Mommy, I know that's right. Wasn't it fun in the bath tonight? The cold so cold and the hot so hot. God bless Daddy, I quite forgot. If I open my fingers a little bit more, I can see Nanny's dressing gown on the door. It's a beautiful blue, but it hasn't a hood. God bless Nanny and make her good. Mine has a hood and I lie in bed, and I pull the hood right over my head. I shut my eyes and I curl up small, and nobody knows that I'm there at all. Oh, thank you, God, for a lovely day. What was the other I had to say? I said, God bless Nanny, Now what can it be? Now I remember it's God bless me. Little boy kneels at the foot of his bed, drapes on his little hand's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper who dares. Christopher Robin is saying his prayers.
That stuttering heartbeat, a lifeline held by a single thread, with each hesitant breath, weak but ever present. I think of the influence she has been to me, and the love she had given me, trusting me to continue the stories and to have faith that one day the world wouldn't be as cold as it seems.
You take my breath away, my castles are all in a heap. You got me right where you want me, baby, you talk in my sleep. I take you for a little walk, and you're a guy who likes to talk. I leave you on the porch, then you wind up with a torch. And every single time I try to tell you what is on my mind, damned if I don't find I'm breathless.
The art of narrative is beautiful by itself, but extraordinary when accompanied by something else. To take these quilts, map out, and recreate a timeline of memories through the art of stories and songs is the inspiration my grandmother gives me. It's been 10 years since that moment, a decade gone by, and although it took me that long to find that feeling of warmth again, I have found it in the comfort of my Nan's quilts.
I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I stay in the garden with him, though the night around me be falling, but he bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
bed. Droops down his little lamb's little golden. Hush, hush, whisper, oh dears. Christopher Robin is saying his prayers. God bless Mommy, I know that's right. Wasn't it fun in the flat tonight? The hot, cold, so cold, and the hot, so hot. God bless Daddy, I quite forgot. If I open my fingers a little bit more, I can see Nanny's dressing gown on the door. It's a beautiful blue one, it hasn't a hood. God bless Nanny and make her good. Mine is a hood and I lie in bed and pull the hood right over my head, and I close my eyes and curl up small. Nobody knows that I'm there, and oh, thank you, God, for a lovely day. And what was the other I had to say? I said, God bless Daddy, now what can it be? Now I remember it's God bless me. Little boy kneels at the foot of his bed, droops down his little lamb's little gold head. Hush, hush, whisper, oh dears, Christopher Robin is saying his prayers.